Mittens, doing some very interesting, challenging music as a two-piece.
Yeah.
And
So it's me and Evan Higgin, who plays drums, and plays drums, and on the record he also plays a bit of glockenspiel. And I play guitar, looper pedal, and then also some moog in different places. So, yeah.
And I mean, do you like the term math rock when people say that? Would you describe it as that? Because it's technical.
It's technical. It's instrumental. It's sort of in the realm of post-rock or art rock or experimental or math rock. I mean, I feel like any of those terms works in a way and is limited. Some people don't like the term math rock, but, you know, you can't really argue with it. It's sort of polyrhythmic, technical rock. So
yeah,
it's in that realm.
Yeah.
I think it's fair.
Yeah. And you actually have brought down an actual test copy of the LP.
Yeah, and this is the first time I've actually heard the vinyl. I just got it. I'm really excited.
Wow.
Yeah, so we got 6 copies, and I've given them out to myself and Evan, and then Jesse Gander, who recorded it, and then a few other people. So yeah, when we do get our records, they're actually going to be on tri-colored, swirly vinyl that goes from opaque color to translucent color. So I'm really excited about the final product, but it really is about the grooves on the vinyl, not so much the color, but the color's kind of fun too.
Yeah, well, this one, it's literally fresh off the press because there's not even a label. We had to test it. We both didn't know which was side A and side B, so we tested it off air. So I just wanted to get the name of the record correct. It's quite a long word. Experimental Sparkle Noise Pop. Is that?
Yes, it is. It's kind of a silly name, but we were kind of talking about ideas for names, and we couldn't decide on something. And we kept coming back to this really awful name, Mittens, nice pair. And we were either going to go with that or something that just sort of describes what the music sounds like, so...
Okay, which you've done for the LP name. Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay, so, I always like to get into the music straight away so people know what we're talking about. So how about we go into side A?
Side A? First song is Tweenage Tweeter, followed by Bonobo Handshake.
Okay, so this is Kim, and she's in studio here. We're talking about the new release for Mittens. It is on the turntable right now, so let's go for it. And we're listening to local music, brand new local music, never heard on vinyl before. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
So, now this is the moment in time where you say, fantastic, the test pressing is okay, we can go ahead with it?
Yes, exactly.
And is it an affirmative?
It's the Mittens test pressing for Experimental Sparkle Noise Pop, and I like it. It sounds pretty good so far. I think they did a good job.
That's good.
Yeah.
People in the pressing plant,
yes.
You can go ahead.
It's pressed in the Czech Republic.
Oh, really?
And they're supposed to be kind of old school. They know what they're doing, so... Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
May I ask why you went that far afield?
Well, it was recommended to me if I wanted to do colored vinyl that this place in San Francisco, Pirates Press, did a really great job, and they work with people in the Czech Republic.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's good. It's fascinating to learn how the whole process works. Now, this is your first LP because you've had some success locally with your demo EP charting in college radio.
Yeah, that's right. We did 5 songs.
And lots and lots of shows. And I guess...
Yeah, I think we played 45 shows since we formed
about
right. 13 months ago. So
That's amazing.
Yeah, we did a tour down to Oakland and back as well.
Yep.
But most of that was like local stuff, so...
Yeah, including Music Waste, Shoutback Fest, Safe Fest. For people like myself starting out in music and other folks listening, do you have any hints and tips for getting that many shows? It's impressive. So I guess it's just getting out there. And
I guess sort of know what genre your music falls into and go to a bunch of shows, talk to people, ask if they'd be interested in playing with you, record some stuff, make a demo. See if you can book some shows at smaller venues, and if you can book them on a weeknight or a Sunday or something, and then see if you can get any local bands to play with you, and, just keep meeting people and hustle.
Yeah. Well, you guys are a great example of getting in and doing it, and we were actually talking off air, maybe we'll revisit this topic about, labels, because Die Pretty, which we played earlier, they really had great assistance from Citadel Records, who are real curating the inner city of Sydney at the time. And we know now that labels don't seem as necessary in the first instance, because people can do it themselves so much. But what are your thoughts right now on the need for a label or not for what you're doing?
For what we're doing, I think if you're willing to do the work yourself, you don't really need a label to record and to make a vinyl record or to make a tape and to play a bunch of shows and even get into festivals. I think the thing where a label comes in handy is if you actually want to get some distribution. Smaller labels can help a lot with getting you distribution, but you can also get the distribution deals yourself. I think that's the main thing. Yeah.
So there are specific companies who are distribution companies, that's all they do? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And you mentioned having the record pressed in Europe. I think you mentioned somewhere that you have plans to go there and play too. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got a couple of shows coming up in Iceland.
Wow.
I might have a show in Glasgow and a show in Leeds, but that will just be me solo. Evan won't be able to come for those shows, but in future we're definitely going to try to work it out so that he can come as well. We've got a show coming up in Seattle as well on August 3rd and a show in Portland on August 2nd, and then we're going to be doing our LP launch August 23rd at the Astoria.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a far-flung place, Iceland. Is that, have you created a little bit of interest there through blogs and whatnot, or did you just...
Yeah, I've just emailed a bunch of people and sort of made connections that way, like blogs and radio stations and, record stores and that kind of thing.
And why Iceland in particular? Yeah.
Well, it's one of the places that I find that has, sort of the most creative people per capita. Like 1 in 10 people is a published author. I just
Are you
love.
serious?
Yeah,
Whoa.
They have a long history. I guess it's a little boring, cold island, and people just make art and music. And if they didn't, what's the purpose in living? Really, they just have to sort of make their own fun. But I've always had a fascination for it. And I have some buddies there right now. So.
Okay. That's wow! I learned something today. That's extraordinary. Iceland. Wow.
Yeah.
And Kim Glennie is joining us here, and she is really, really excited. We're playing her test pressing of the LP. First time human ears have heard it. Besides, maybe a few guys in the Czech Republic.
Exactly.
And so there is the technical aspect to your work here. Is the guitar your primary instrument, or?
It's really like my second instrument. I grew up playing classical piano. I went to grade 10 Royal Conservatory, and it's funny because the drummer Evan Hegan, he's also a classical guitarist, and he plays drums. So we're both playing not our main instruments, but it's sort of easier to come up with riffs that don't sound like a rip-off of classical music when you're, playing an instrument that you don't know as well. So it's been kind of fun to get to know the guitar and kind of focus on that. And then it's been kind of fun playing with the looper pedal, putting riffs in, and then building lead guitar on top of that and trying to work it out so that there's, always a space where the drummer can hear what you're doing. And, it's really fun playing live because we're always, kind of figuring out if we're going to make it back to the one at the same time,
Yep. Yeah. Keeping it fresh and interesting.
Yeah.
And just stretching yourself as a musician, it's such a great idea to throw yourself into something that's not your immediate strength and grow from that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I sort of grew up loving guitar rock. That was my thing, Fugazi and Sonic Youth and Don Cab and Hella. There's just Caramellos. There's so many bands that are really mathy guitar-based bands that I really like.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in Winnipeg, and I lived in Montreal for 14 years, and I've been here for 14 years, so...
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to think of myself as being bi-coastal.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone say that before. Maybe you've coined a term.
Maybe.
Okay, and so you've been here for quite a long time then. I've had a lot of joy learning about the history of the music of this city over the last few years, and there's so much I don't know still. And if you had to pick a handful of acts over those 14 years that have meant a lot to you locally?
Local bands?
Yeah.
Let me see. Well, I definitely have to say getting back into music, because I used to be in a band in Montreal. I was in a few bands in Montreal in the 90s, and I was playing bass and I was playing keyboards, but I didn't play guitar in bands then. So when I moved here, there were a few bands that kind of got me interested. One of them was Black Rice. That was like a 90s band that was really good. Jesse Gander was in that, and Joel Tong and some other people. Super good band. I think part of the reason I wanted to play music again was Man Your Horse and Boogie Monster, two more recent bands that I really got into. And then also, we've played quite a few shows with What's Wrong Tohei. I really like them. Double Standards and Yes Bear, we've played with quite a bit too. I think they're pretty cool. I quite like Shearing Pinks. You know, like there's just a range. I like Dead Soft. Yeah, there's like so many awesome bands. Hours. I could just list them. Good bands in the city.
There is. There's a real strength in the musical world, and you're part of it. And in a big way in this last year, as you say, almost 50 shows.
I'm really lucky. Maybe I'm just really pesky. I don't know. But I love playing. I just love playing live.
Yeah.
I like to plug my guitar in, turn it up really loud, and then play loops and play riffs over it.
Yeah.
And I really love playing with Evan, the drummer. He's such a good drummer. Like he's always on point. You know?
And is he always is he a native Vancouverite, or what's his background?
He's from Victoria, and he used to be in a band in Victoria called American Geography.
Right.
And then he was in Diamond Dancer here as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's done other stuff musically too. But yeah.
Okay.
Quite a brilliant musician.
Well, and Evan is one part of Mittens, and the other part of Mittens is sitting here, Kim Glennie. What I've just put on side 2 is how many grooves in? Halfway. Okay, so. Okay, so we're a few songs into side 2 of the LP from Mittens, and this will be more widely available in the coming months.